Alright, and I'm back with a book review. Been a while since I've done one of these. I haven't read this in a long time, but I still remember enough about it because I've read it about 3 or 4 times to where I wanted to throw out a review on it. So without further ado, I choose to review MEG by Steve Alten. And the MEG being the Megalodon shark, the extinct 60-foot shark that, could swallow the Volkswagen hole and all that. Used to be one of the baddest mamma jammas on the planet. Fortunately, he ain't here no more. But, yeah, this is a pretty good book. I read this the first time when I was 13, and before I say vast difference, this new one, which I haven't read, is the revised and expanded edition. Oh, don't you just love it when these authors put those out? And I'm thinking particularly of Stephen King when I say this. But, MEG is basically the story about this cat, the scientist named Jonas Taylor. And some years before, he got a disgraced career because he used to be part of a research team that was diving in submersible in the Mariana Trench, and he thought he happened to see a shark down there. And unfortunately, it caused the death of 2 men. Excuse me. And this takes place 11 years after that. And there's a Chinese man that actually approaches him about funding an expedition down there and finding these sharks. And we just go completely helter-skelter from here because they happen to go down and wind up bringing up one of these MEGs, which they find down there, and they wind up bringing one to the surface, and complete chaos and mayhem ensues. I just love it. The first thing about this book, the best thing about this that I love, this is actually the first in a series of 3 now and 4 soon to follow. The best thing about this is the prologue, of which, if you can't tell, the cover of the book here is probably one of the most famous scenes in this book, is that we get a flashback to sometime in the, what is the name of it? Hang on a second. Yeah, I'm looking. The late Jurassic, early Cretaceous period. Not that that's really important, but we got this T-Rex that chases a couple of dinosaurs out into the surf, and then winds up getting stuck, and then the MEG comes in and attacks it. I'll admit, the book is good. Not exactly what we would define as classic literature or anything intellectual. No offense to Mr. Alten if he happens to come across this, but a shark attacking a T-Rex, that's just awesome. I don't care who you are. We get into the story though, and we get a little more characteristics with Jonas Taylor, the Chinese man, Masao Tanaka, his daughter Terry, and of course Jonas's bitch of a wife, Maggie, who has been cheating on him for some time with Jonas's best friend, Bud. A lot of good drama that takes place throughout the story. It doesn't really happen that much, but there is slowly a little bit of romance developing in between Jonas and Terry throughout the course of this story, and of course she happens to fall onto him after the death of her brother when the shark is brought up. Before I get back to characters, I need to talk about how the shark is brought up. I will give Steve Alten credit in this. He knows his research well. The Megalodon is entirely based off of his studies of the great white. Basically, the way that he does it in his pseudo-scientific way is that these trenches that lie at the bottom of the ocean have tremendous pressure. If we swam down into them, before we died of hypothermia, we would be just completely crushed. And apparently somehow he's developed a way, the sharks naturally are cold-blooded, but he says there are these volcanic trenches that are open down there, and they heat the water, and somehow the MEG has evolved into surviving down there through the pressure and the fact that these trenches keep them warm enough to survive. And it goes on that the shark is brought back up, and it starts it does attack people on occasion, but it also is chasing down whale pods, which is kind of interesting. And everything about this shark is just cool. Now, unfortunately, I haven't read the revised version like I have said, but this is still the original story, which I did read, was pretty good, and it was enough for me to come back 3 or 4 times. We get some interesting battle sequences that sort of take place at sea. You know, Bud and Maggie try their hand at capturing the shark, which doesn't work out so well. There's an idiot in the Navy who decides to send a U.S. naval sub after the shark, which, you know, it doesn't turn out so well. But a lot of the stuff is pretty cool, though. We do have a lot of Deus Ex Machinas in the story. Case in point, there is a point where the shark, which is brought up, is pregnant, and it has a couple of pups. That's, you know, towards the latter half of the book. We also get the point to where the shark actually attacks Maggie's boat while she's out there fishing for it. Maggie is actually a news reporter, and, you know, she's going out there trying to film the megalodon after it's been announced that this shark is not extinct and the entire world knows about it now. Unfortunately, it does wind up attacking and killing her when she falls out of the boat. But there's a point where, like, for instance, the shark is about to attack Bud, who was trying to reach out for Maggie, and the shark got her, and then it comes back for him, and then they have, like, this huge Deus Ex Machina of, like, I think it went, you know, as if by the hand of God, a bolt of lightning just suddenly come down and struck it in the eye and blinded it, which is crazy, but it's still kind of fun. This is sort of like a better and more aggressive version of Peter Benchley's Jaws, which, you know, the late Mr. Benchley wrote a terrific book. 2 of his other major stories, not so well with me, but this is still a good book. It has 2 sequels to it right now. One is called The Trench. The Trench is okay. Basically what happens in that is that, well, the MEG is killed in this story, and I'm not going to spoil how. It's just quite a hilarious way that Jonas goes through measures of killing it. But it has a pup, and they decided to name the shark pup Angel, and you know, Jonas builds like this huge aquarium around it, and it gets out, and chaos ensues, and it actually brings them back to the Mariana Trench, and we actually get revealed that the MEGs are not the only thing that are living down there. We have chronosaurs down there who have somehow adapted gills instead of needing to surface and breathe, and they've survived down there. A little on the crazy side, but still pretty good. And the third one, I think, which is called Primal Waters, I never really got around to reading it, so of course in time after I finish A Dance with Dragons, I think this is going to be on my to-do list to reread, and, you know, maybe the revised version will be okay, but as far as the original story goes, if you could find it, this is a terrific read. A little crazy at some points, but still pretty good. I would highly recommend this. And that's really all I've got to say about it. So, stop the video and go check it out.